about that. What's so special about SC2? What's so special about a push? Why is it such a big deal? Like it's really not. Like we made it up. It's fake. It's like it's really like it's an incentive to do something. Like it's a reason to work. But if you think about it, what about other companies? I mean, what's a big deal for other businesses? Like Black Friday or holidays? Like, why are those a big deal? You know, they're made up, right? Like it's a reason, an excuse to do something else and to really like improve your business. Now, again, it's our entire society made up Black Friday, and yet businesses are really profitable because of it. SC2 is a reason to work, and how you manage your time during that, the attitude that you have for the push, really determines your results. Now, a push period, it's a time for you to practice doing hard things. It's a time for you to practice doing hard things, so that way when you have to do hard things, it's a lot easier. I'm so grateful for my experience during push periods last summer, for me to develop the skills and the confidence knowing that I can do hard things. I've never really been afforded that opportunity prior to last summer. I mean, I've done hard things in the past, but in such a short period of time, like Phil mentioned, the amount of growth and personal development that happens when you push yourself. Nobody else is pushing you. I mean, your manager can coach you and help you, but really the ultimate motivator is yourself. But to push yourself and to drive yourself in a way that you've never grown before, it really is an incredible experience. And how your attitude towards the push is a direct reflection, or will directly reflect how your results will be and the growth that you achieve. Now, how you do something is how you do everything. And so a push period is a chance to practice success. Who here wants to be successful? Right? Every one of us. We all want to be successful in our own way. But success comes to those that practice. All right? Success doesn't come naturally. Not everyone is just good right off the bat. Nobody is. And the more you practice being successful, the more successful you will be. So the push is a great opportunity. And when you shape that attitude and you have that attitude, it's going to give you a great opportunity to be successful down the road and in the future. Now, I want to talk about, first off, can you, what do you guys see? Do you see my notes or do you see my slides? Phil?
You're in some mode.
Click present.
Click present. There you go.
Yeah, I'm not gonna just keep it like this just so you can see it, because I need to see my notes. But
okay, great.
But you guys can't see my notes at all?
Nope.
They're not blocking the slides? Okay. Really cool. Awesome. Well, the next thing I want to talk about here, again, how your attitude is really shapes how your push goes. And so I want to talk about a couple of things that really make or break a good push, your attitude towards these things. And the things that I want to talk about is your attitude towards your prep, the attitude towards your phoning, the attitude towards your demos, your customers, your goals, your schedule, your commitment, and your failures. So I want to talk about how your attitude towards each of these things, again, really affects how the push that you will have will be. Now, moving some stuff around here. Perfect. But first, I want to talk about managing your emotions. Okay, managing your emotions is important. We all have emotions. We're all going to have roller coasters of a push. It's that way. Life is full of different types of emotions that you feel in the push. You feel every single one of them. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be sad. You're going to be happy. You're going to be ecstatic. The amount of emotional distance between the highs and the lows within a short period of time, it's incredible. And so the first thing I want to talk about is how you manage your emotions really does, again, impact your push in your life. And the biggest thing I want to talk about is you need to change your focus. Now, it's important to know what questions you're asking yourself. Far often I find representatives really get down on themselves, giving themselves negative affirmations, saying things that are quite frankly harming them mentally and emotionally. And again, the questions that you ask yourself are how you're going to feel. And so you need to ask the right questions to yourself, and it's going to impact your results. So asking yourself positive questions, what could I do better, instead of why did I suck so bad? Why did I mess up? What could I improve? How could I do that specific thing better? Are the kind of questions you need to be asking yourself, because that's really how you grow. Because there's no point in getting down on yourself if you're not going to change anything. Then you're just going to get down on yourself later. Again, what kind of questions can you ask yourself? What kind of bullshit are you telling yourself? Again, why are you telling yourself like lies, right? I mean, you need to keep yourself in a position to grow. And if you're telling yourself negative things like that, you're really doing yourself a disservice, and you're not going to improve. Asking yourself, what can I be grateful for? You know, how can I, like, what has gone well today? What has been the best part of that demo, even if it was a no sale? Asking yourself, what was the best thing that I did during that demo? And then changing your language. There's a difference between positive and negative affirmations, and also vicious and vital cycles. Now, a vicious cycle, again, is not what we want. We want vital cycles. A vicious cycle is telling yourself, no, this demo is going to suck. This demo is going to be awful. And then what do you think ends up happening? You know, the demo ends up being awful, right? Adjusting your attitude and mindset is a lot different than simply adjusting your actions. You know, if you adjust your actions, you can adjust your actions fairly easily, but without properly adjusting your mindset and attitude, no amount of change in action can ever expect to last. Okay, so again, vital cycles, not vicious cycles. Another example of a vicious cycle, a thing you don't want to do. You're in a demo again, you think this lady is not going to buy for whatever reason. You walk in, you may have a house that's, you know, not exactly the fanciest. You may know a little bit about the person, you're judging them, which is rude, by the way. You call them on the phone and you think they're not gonna buy anything, they can't afford it. Whatever the case may be, you have a bad attitude, and what do you think? Again, what do you think happens? She doesn't end up buying, and then you carry that same attitude into your next appointment, and it repeats, and it repeats. And it repeats, and then you've got demos that you're doing, but you're really just shooting yourself in the foot, because you're turning customers that would have bought into no sales because of how you view them. And then you go into those demos and you're self-sabotaging because you say, oh, she's not going to buy, and then she does it, and you're like, see, I was right. Of course you're right, but that's not something you should want to be right about. Okay, if you have one bad appointment, how you respond makes or breaks the next one. When something doesn't go your way and you have a bad appointment and you say the next one's going to be really good, is what you need to be saying. The next one's going to be great, or that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. And saying the right questions, framing it for yourself, because how you frame it for yourself is how you're going to believe it. Your expectations become your reality. And if you can shape your expectations and how you think of a situation, it's amazing to see the difference. As soon as I look back, as soon as I started to firmly believe that every single customer could afford Cutco, my closing percentage went from 40 to 50% to 80. Because I believe that they can afford it. Now, your attitude towards, so managing your mindset and managing your emotions is a huge thing. And again, I want to talk about your attitude towards a couple of other things. Number one is your prep. Your attitude during a push towards your prep, towards this meeting now. Now, most of you here, I'd imagine, are pretty excited about this meeting. You're excited to learn how to sell larger things. You're excited to grow and improve yourself. I don't think any of you would really be here, seeing as it is a voluntary meeting, if you didn't have some substance to that, if that didn't resonate with you at least partially. But there are maybe some of you here that's like, my manager asked me to be here and that's really the only reason. And that's okay for now, but you're here and that's what's important. But if you, as you change your attitude towards your prep, as you look at this experience, we've got like 2 weeks till push starts, right? About 2 weeks. As you utilize this time and as you look at this as a great opportunity to grow, and this is the pre-push push, right? Right now is the chance for you to practice and to mess up and make mistakes now, right? I would much rather you make mistakes now than during SC2. So make sure you have demos now. Look forward to this opportunity we have these next couple weeks before SC2 to make mistakes before it affects your push results. Now, it's okay to make mistakes during SC2. We all will. But I'm saying as you make mistakes now, I'd much rather you make them, and I'm sure you would too, right now than later. So your prep is important, and how your attitude towards your prep is, it's going to affect the quality of the preparation that you have. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is your attitude towards your phoning. Who here doesn't really like phoning? Yeah, yeah, I don't either. I didn't. And here's the thing. you have to learn how to do things you don't like. This life is full of things that you don't like to do, and you still have to do them. And you can learn to love it. And here's the thing, phoning, it's not hard. It really isn't. Why a lot of us don't like to do it, I quite frankly, I can't figure it out sometimes. But we're all subjected to the feelings of like, oh my gosh, I got to make more phone calls. We've all been there. It's going to get to those all day call days, and you're going to be like, oh my goodness, we've got how many hours worth of phone calls that we got to do? And the thing is you have to learn how to do things that you don't want to do, and now is a great time to practice that. Smile through it. Phoning is literally one thing that you can actually just smile through and still get good results. Like a lot of times we're like, just, cheer up, champ, right? And then you're like, well, it's still like, and then it affects your results. Phoning is one of those things that you can literally just put a smile on your face and make yourself feel better about it. Smile while you dial. The all-day call day is honestly a blast, by the way. If you've got enough people to call, it's honestly, it's a great time. And you should really look forward to that. The more you look forward to that, the more you change your mentality towards phoning, the better results you're going to get. And then your demos as well. Are you dreading your demos? Are you dreading SC2? Are you dreading working that hard? Because if you are, it's okay. It is okay if you are. You can change that mentality, and that's what we need to work on. If you're dreading it, it's going to affect your prep. It's going to affect your phone calls. It's going to affect your attitude into those demos. And so you need to ask yourself, are you having fun in your presentations? Are you having fun? Are you looking forward to the demos? And if not, what can you do differently to make that so? Asking the right questions, positive affirmations. What can I be doing differently to make me enjoy it more, to have more fun, to make it less stressful? Now, I want to talk about the Burtons really quick. By the way, can you see my schedule here? Yeah, so this is SC2. The Burtons here, the Burtons, Kylie and Drew. He was an English teacher at Hurricane High School, and he had five demos before me, never bought, right? I went over to his house, and I just had one of the most fun-filled demos that I've ever had. It was honestly a blast. They were having fun. We were laughing, just having a great time, showing him our product. He let me know before, of course, that he wasn't going to buy anything. He's had the demo a couple of times and still didn't have any knives. And we just had a blast. And midway through the demo, he's like, Nick, this is so much fun. I've had a lot of demos before, but I just want to say, we're having a great time. This is so much different than the other ones. I'm thinking I'm just reading the manual and smiling and cracking jokes, right? I guess none of the other reps were having fun, right? None of the other reps were enjoying the demo. He's had it 5 times. He ended up buying a homemaker because I had fun in my demos. So are you having fun in your demos? What is your attitude towards your demos? Demos are a blast, at least they can be. And then again, are you trying to sell? What is your attitude towards selling? Are you trying to sell, or are you just there to see what happens? Are you actually trying to help your customers? Later on in the push, I had another customer, Clarilyn and Ron Jones. Clarilyn and Ron, they're an older couple. They've got plenty of knives, they told me. They were nice enough to hear me out here. And I went over, I did the presentation, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they're a wealthier couple. He owns Hidden Valley Ranch. So they had that money, they just didn't see the value there. They're like, we're not gonna use the knives, so we don't think. And the husband, he wasn't there for the whole part of the demo, it was just with the wife. Either way, the wife really liked it, and she's really on the fence. The husband's kind of naysaying it. It wasn't a price thing. It was just they weren't quite sure. I'm like, just try it out, handling the objections. But I was really trying to help them because I knew that if they bought that signature set, that they would really be better off. Their life would be better. It'd be easier, more efficient in the kitchen. They'd be happier. It's a great product, and that they're gonna love it. Now, that being said, the husband flat out looked me in the eye. He's like, Nick, how much commission do you make off that order? I think it was at 35 or 40% at that time. And I was honest with him. And he's like, I will pay you $600 cash right now to not have us buy that set, which was a little bit more than I would have made on commission, right? And I was like, I really appreciate that offer because they're trying to help me pay for school or whatever, working. I shared my goals. And I was honest. I'm like, Ron, I appreciate that, but honestly, that paycheck, that $600 is only going to last me maybe a couple months, right? But these knives are going to have forever. I know that these are going to help you. And they felt that from me, and they ended up buying the signature set with steak knives, right? Because I was trying to help them. You okay, Phil? Moving along. So
I'm good. I'm good. That conviction. I should raise your pedestal, Nick. All right.
Please don't. It's hot up here. Heat rises. And so again, are you trying to help your customers? And by the way, your attitude towards your customers, what is it? You have the same customers I do. You have the same customers anybody does. All right? Your customers are no different. Everybody can afford Cutco. What is your attitude towards your chicken list? Are you still afraid to call people? Why? They're going to love it. They're going to love talking to you. Sky Mitchell, she was high up on my chicken list. I broke her weed whacker, and I had avoided her. Anyone ever ghost somebody because they just didn't want to confront the situation? I avoided my next door neighbor for like 2 years almost because I broke her weed whacker and I couldn't afford to fix it at the time. I was a broke college student. Middle of SC2, I just got the confidence after a team night out, called up Sky. I hadn't talked to her in forever. It was like I talked to her yesterday. She's like, Nick, how are you? I'm like, she was super ecstatic. She had me over. She bought an ultimate set with steak knives. First time I sold an ultimate set because I just believed that I believed in my goals. And I believed that it really didn't matter whether she said yes or no to my presentation because she's saying no either way when I don't call her. What is your attitude towards your customers? You have the same ones. Everyone can afford Cutco, and everyone, like, your customers are the same, so you need to believe that. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, what's your attitude towards your goals? Do your goals mean anything to you? You need to have a clear and compelling reason why you're doing what you're doing. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't even need to be that like super grand or spectacular. And it's not like I need to make this much money so that I can become a surgeon and save people's lives. Like, it doesn't need to be that glorified. It could be like, I just want to beat Nick's record, right? Like, it could be like, I just want to work really, really hard just to say that I did it. Or I want to buy a dirt bike, whatever the case may be. You need to have a goal, though, a clear and compelling reason for you of why you're doing what you're doing. Because the real value of setting goals is not the recognition or the reward. It's the person we become by finding the discipline, the courage, and the commitment to achieve what we're going for. And the real value of setting goals isn't the reward. It's the person we become by finding the discipline, courage, and commitment to achieve it. Commitment is the glue that bonds to your goals. Now, what's your attitude towards your schedule? You need to have an extremely detailed plan from the start. Are you nervous about scheduling that much? Have you ever scheduled that much in your life? If so, get excited. Yes, this right here, before I did it, these were, by the way, looking at my schedule here, all the orange spots were potential demo spots, and then I would fill them as I go. Now, the thing is I looked at this starting before this, and I just saw a bunch of orange before the call days, and I was really nervous. But at the same time, if you can get excited and motivated and excited to plan your time like this, you're going to have an easier time doing it. Now, I want to talk about scheduling really quickly because scheduling is huge. You definitely need to have a positive emotion towards scheduling, because the more you schedule, the more successful you're going to be. Now, as you can see from my push here, I still had a lot of empty space. I could have done way more demos than I did. But what I want to point out here is if you don't schedule everything, your schedule will own you. Okay? If you don't own your schedule will own you. If you don't plan your breaks will plan you. Okay, you're going to start working really hard, and then it's going to get a couple days into the push. The first day is usually pretty easy. Like the first day, everyone can have a hard day. Second day, same thing. 3, 4, 5 days into the push, that's when it starts to get hard. And if you don't have your schedule lined out, then you may falter. But if you don't plan your breaks after you're working so hard, your attitude towards your work will start to falter, and you're going to start thinking, I need a break. Same thing happened to me during the middle of the push. I didn't plan my schedule appropriately. I didn't schedule time when I was going to be taking breaks, when I was going to see my girlfriend, when I was going to actually take the time to do the things that I like. Now, again, I had the time. You can see I had all this empty space here, all these orange spots. And then it came a week into the push. I didn't have any demos set up for that Saturday night. And I was just like, I need a break. I had no motivation to make any more calls. Saturday, I could have sold 30, 35 grand if I would have slapped and like together a schedule for Saturday and really worked hard. But instead, what did I do? I went to Pine Valley and wasted the entire day fishing. When instead I could have fished for an hour here or here. I could have done the things that I wanted and I could really maximize my time. But instead, I let it get overwhelming and then I just gave up on that day. Again, if you need to plan your breaks, otherwise your breaks will plan you. And or the last one of the things I want to talk about. Can we all hear me? My video is frozen. Okay, so the last couple of things you need to talk about, or that I want to talk about, is your attitude towards your commitment. Motivation is what you're feeling now. Motivation is what gets you started. Commitment is what keeps you going. If you're not committed to your goal, you probably won't reach it. Now, I don't care what your goal is. We'll talk about 50 demos. 50 demos is what I did, and that's what I recommend anyone who's wanting to go big for the push. It hits as the minimum, 50 demos. If you do 50 demos in 17 days, you will sell a lot of knives. You will make a lot of money. Now, again, your commitment is what keeps you going. So you need to be committed to your goals. Commitment means staying loyal to what you said that you would do. We're going to talk about an agreement, a push agreement that you have the option to sign, the privilege to sign. And as you can commit to yourself, you're going to achieve more. You should and will want to quit during the push. And if you don't, you probably aren't doing it right. So we're going to do, it's doing, like, you will and should want to quit. And what you're doing during the push, like the mood, commitment means doing what you said you would do long after the mood that you had when you said it has left. Because it's going to suck. I'm not going to lie. Like, some days are going to suck. And that's talking about your failures here. Your attitude towards your failures, your attitude towards your negatives. Again, it does shape the future. You know, you need to be prepared to fail and let it be okay and expect it. By the way, my first 3 demos of the push, SC2, I had no sale, no sale, no sale, cancellation. Right off the bat. Tell you what, that wasn't fun. But I let myself realize that how I'm feeling now isn't how I'm always going to feel. How those demos happened aren't how the rest of mine are going to feel or are going to end up. And I ended up having three sales in a row that night and ended up selling around, like, I think it was 1,500 to 2K that day. Again, how you handle your failures will shape how you how you achieve success. And so you need to learn how to emotionally detach yourself from your results. You are not your CPO. All right? You are not your CPO, and you are your effort that you put forth to achieve your goal. So the only thing that you can guarantee is that things will go wrong. All right? And you need to expect it. You need to prepare to get your butt kicked. If you're really going for a big push, then it is guaranteed that at least some point things won't go your way. And that's okay. Because after all, it is a push, right? Pushing through those failures. Now, I wanna just wrap up here with just a couple of keys for the push that really helped me. Okay, number 1 is completing 50 demos. If you're going for big, you need to complete 50 demos minimum. And I had more time to do more than 50, but that was my goal, and I feel like that's a very admirable goal. If you shoot for 50 demos, again, you're going to sell a lot of knives. I think that someone here, if not a couple of you, have the potential. You all have the potential, but I know that if some of you here were to truly commit to doing 50, 60, 70 demos in SC2, you could easily beat my record, anybody's record. Why not you, right? Now, the next thing I want to talk about here is it's all about the phone calls, making the phone calls to achieve what you want. Ask your manager, how many hours worth of phone calls do I need to make to hit my demo goal? Again, set meaningful goals, Stick to your schedule. 50 demos could be done in 5 days, or it could be done in 17. How are you going to plan it? What's your plan? Make one. Use your knives. Again, do you believe in what you're selling? If not, use your knives more. And you need to believe in what you're selling. And the more you believe in what you're selling, the more you're going to sell. Build your knowledge. Come to the alliance meetings. I don't care what your goal is for the push. You're not doing anything else at 7 a.m. Come to the alliance meetings. You will sell more. Listen to Vector Connect talks. Become a Vector Connect junkie. All right? Listen to Vector Connect talks. I listen to a Vector Connect talk almost every day of the push. Because as you're committed to learning, you will get better. And speaking of which, build your skill level. Come to the alliance meetings, build your knowledge and practice. So do something to learn and then apply it in your demos. Don't try to bite off more than you can chew. Step by step. Use this time now to prepare for the push. And then it's your attitude. It's your attitude now and it's your attitude later. What's your attitude now and what's your attitude during the push when it counts? Get coached for 17 days. Ask your manager what you need to do, what you can do, what you should be doing. Encourage other people. That's why we have the alliance meeting. It is so good to feel that you're not alone in this push, right? It's so good to know that there are other people just like you with the same mentality trying to grow and improve themselves. We all have different goals, but we're all going for the same thing, and that's improvement. Go field training. Take other people field training. How do you respond to challenge? Create habits long-term and follow the miracle equation. Okay, so that's the thing I want you to know. Miracles happen, all right? Miracles happen, and if you're committed to giving it everything you got for 17 days, regardless of what your goal is, you should feel good at the end. And you will feel good, and you will grow more in 17 days than you ever have in that period of time in your life. And it's life-changing. I will never be the same after my SC2 push. I'll never be the same after any of my pushes that I truly applied myself. The amount of growth that I have achieved, that anyone achieves who truly believes that if they go out with the right attitude and really apply themselves, regardless of their goal, they're never the same afterwards. Again, I just want to let you know that the quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment to excellence. The quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment to excellence. And the quality of a person's push is in direct proportion to their commitment to their goals. So you guys got this. The push is going to be great. It's going to be exhausting. It's going to be fun. You're going to grow more than you ever have in your entire life in that short period of time. And I'm excited for you, and you should be too. So get fired up. It's going to be a grand push. We're going to get the goods today. And honestly, you guys are going to tear it up on those 17 days. And I'm really excited to see what you guys can do. So thank you.
Give him a hand. Man, F you, Nick. Fired up.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was amazing. And there was so many nuggets for the push. I got to share one thought that I had. The miracle equation. I'm going to give you more on that. Okay? But write down the miracle equation. At the end, it sounded like he was bearing his vectormony. He was like, telling it, But the miracles do happen because we have something called the miracle equation. There's a book on it by Hal Elrod, but there is a push period, a whole message. And I've got that in the agenda for next week. I may unravel it for you today a little bit, though. So one comment, the miracle equation. Write it down. You're going to want to remember it your entire life, but especially during this push, okay? Because whenever you go for something huge, who feels more nervous because it's huge? Raise your hand. 4.0 Eagle Scout before you're 18 and you're 17.95 years old right now. You're going for something huge, right? Or, whatever it is, right? A huge goal. You have to go all out, and therefore it's more stressful. Who's ever been around, and I ask this usually in maybe training or advanced, who's ever been around the 4.0 student? And the 4.0 student's like, I want extra credit. I missed out on 4 points. And they're like crying over 4 points. Who's ever wanted to punch that person? Raise your hand. You wanted to punch that person. Guys, it's because when your goals are huge, you actually need greater encouragement. So the people that are not at this meeting right now and aren't going to go, even the people that are at this meeting that aren't going to go for it all the way, you're not going to need nearly as much encouragement as those of you that are on this meeting right now that are like, I'm going for it. Nick is the freaking bee's knees and I want to beat his butt. I want to do better than he did. Or I want to do even close to his first push of selling $13,000 or $14,000 and making $4,000 in 17 days. And if you're thinking that, you're going to need more encouragement. And one thing that will really, I want you to have it resonate with you, is the miracle equation. And again, you don't even know what it is yet, but that is one of the things that will make you feel great. And remember why it still works. Second thing I want to say is you want to write down this equation. It's not the miracle equation. It's 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 2 wild cards. And you're like, what? Okay. I'll say it, and then what we'll do is we'll take the break. I'll give you the specials right after the break, okay? Because I want to give you guys the break. And it's 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 2 wild cards. And that's the number of days, 17 days. And just understand, there's going to be 5 days that are going to be absolutely unbelievable CPO, unbelievable recommendations, unbelievable experience, the most victorious days of your career and maybe your life. It'll feel that way. You ever had those days in life? You feel just today was the most amazing experience of, my life, right? So number 1/3 of them, 5 of them are going to be like that. 1/3 of them are going to be, we'll call it low CPO days. Low CPO. Doesn't mean it's the worst day of your life. That's a Napoleon Dynamite quote, right? Worst day of my life. What do you think? Okay. But, 1/3 of, and don't stop recording, Anthony, until I'm done with this. But anyway, we got you, Sierra. But 1/3 are what? Low CPO days. Here's my, in parentheses, note. You want to win those days. Winning those days are when you have the crap CPO, but you book 7 demos that day. A low CPO day is you stunk it up on the phone for some reason in the days previous. You only got 2 demos or 3 demos or 4 demos and 2 ditched you, and you have sold a peeler on 2 demos. And you're ready to throw your laptop through the wall and then throw your brother through that same hole, okay, or your sister or someone. Through maybe me, maybe your manager, you want to throw them through a wall without the hole. You just want to make your manager embed them into the wall, right? So that'll be a 1/3 of but those are the days you have to win, where you're like, okay, the CPO didn't roll out for me, but I booked 7 demos. I got 50 referrals from one lady. Someone who didn't even get a demo with me. I got 50 referrals from somebody because I finally got the chutzpah to ask her to give me 50 names. Okay, the low CPO days. And then the other 1/3 are the average days. The other 1/3 of the days where you're like, all right, I sold 14 grand, divide that up by 17 days. It's, about 900 a day. And I sold $946 today. And it wasn't the most beautiful. It was just short of a grand day. I'm actually annoyed that it wasn't a grand day, but I still sold $946. And 30% of $946 is about the same as 30% of a grand. You're like, all right, it was an okay day, right? Hashtag gratitude. Hashtag count your blessings. Hashtag page 26. Okay, so you guys get me on that? Oh, it's not 26. It's not. Oh, well. All right, so that's the third. Okay, so here, let's take 10 minutes. It's gonna be like 9 minutes, okay? Get your snacks, go to the bathroom, come back. I'm gonna unveil the firecracker specials, and then we've got the schedule, the money schedule that Zach Nick shows you on the screen, but it's gonna be in Excel or Apple form, whatever. I'll show you on the screen and your manager will send it to you. All right, guys, managers, why don't you send those? Anthony, hit stop. Thank you. All right,